As we head into July, Erin Condren is moving into back to school season, and I have several things to show you. Okay, I thought this time we would start with the books that they sent me, and then I do have some accessories to share with you. I will put timestamps or chapters in this video for you, so if you want to skip around, you can do that. Starting up with these two books. So this is the activity tracker. It's a 7x9 size and starts at $15.50. And then we're going to look at the new undated homeschool planner. And I did get my regular teacher planner out just so we can compare and contrast the differences between their new homeschool planner and those traditional teacher planners. Okay, so let's again look at this one first. Again, 7x9 size. This is a little bit different because the coil on this particular planner is a plastic clear coil. I'm okay with that. In fact, the life planners years and years ago used to have a plastic coil before they moved to the metal option, and they worked just fine for me. Especially on this book, this is going to be used in my mind really by a child or maybe a younger person, not an adult, but we'll see as we get into the book. So again, my activity tracker, you do have room to label it. The paper on this is their nice toothy paper that you find in their life planners. So you can see here there are 3 tabs, and they all kind of start that same way. So on the tabbed page, you do have an activity, when it started, when you do the activity, where, the supplies you need, favorite part, and specific skills you want to learn. Then you break this down into goals, and you're going to have 4 of these goal pages. So you have room for your goal, what you can do to make it happen, help that you might need, and who can provide that help. And then you're going to turn the page and get another set of those pages. And then you go into your skill tracker. And it says up here, you can use these pages to keep track of the skills you learn and the progress you make each week or month. So I love that they leave that really open for you. Some skills might be acquired very quickly, and you might be planning out some skills that will take a while. For example, my son is in Taekwondo, and he recently earned his black belt promotion. And some of those skills that he learned, as a yellow belt, we would have checked off very quickly. Now he's doing double combat stick, all of those things that are much harder, right? So those might be farther down on the list. So you have a page of those, and then you go into your weekly pages, which look like this. You have a week of, then you can review at the end of the week, how many stars you wanted to give yourself, what you practiced, what you accomplished, what you need to keep practicing. I love that they include a fun moment. If you're not having fun while you're doing something, especially as a child, I think that can be difficult. So I like the focus of this. Things that you did accomplish and you should feel proud of. We can always be working towards the next attainment and then keeping it fun. So you have several pages of those to get you through the month. Lots and lots of those. So you have several of those, and then we move into this set of pages. Again, this is all still under that first tab. So today was a big day. Date. Stars. Did you have a game, a tournament, a recital, performance, show, or exhibition? What you did, how the event went, how you did well, a blank spot. This would be perfect in my mind for you to include a picture for a memory, and then including your favorite memory, kind of writing out about the event. So after all of that kind of practicing each week and tracking your skills. Then you have several of these pages for the bigger days, like the games and tournaments, to track how you did at the actual performance. That's how you're going to wrap up the tab. And then you're going to go into your second tab. All of those pages repeat. Then your third tab, again, all of those same pages repeat. And then we're going to get to the back of the book, which simply ends with that last performance page. And then we go into a quotes page. Now, these are 7x9 size, and even though this is a plastic coil, you can still pop this cover off. It's an interchangeable cover, so that would be fun for your child to do also. If you just want to order them their own custom interchangeable covers, they can change this cover out as they want to. All right, let's move into the Homeschool Planner. Same 8.5x11 size. I am not sure about the coil color options. They sent me this one that's obviously platinum. If I find any information on like if the multicolor is going to be available, I will put that in the description below. Okay, so let's open this up to the front. And I do have, I'm dropping stickers here that aren't even part of this video. We do have this standard 8.5x11 Inspire teacher planner to compare things to. So I will open up to the front page here for you to see the difference. On the traditional one, we just have the teacher lesson planner. This one says Homeschool Planner. This is in color. This is in like a grayscale. Then we turn the page in the book. So for the Homeschool Planner, this next page after your title page is Our Family. So you can put your family mission statement and values up here. You have room for your own homeschool goals. If you have any specific local or state requirements, you can put those here. Local school district info, a blank area, and then your approved curriculum. Obviously, that's a little bit different in the standard teacher planner. Those pages are more all about me, resources, professional development, events and volunteers, and classroom events and dates. So this one, the Homeschool Planner, is undated. You'll notice that when you look at the tabs, there are no monthly labels on it. This Inspire one definitely has the Inspire artwork going throughout the planner. And so far, this one is more like a color blends ombre effect. All right, let's turn the page. You still get your planning boxes in the Homeschool Planner. So the pages are obviously different. On this one, the traditional planner, you have your communication log and then this year at a glance because it is a dated planner. And then you go into these 12 boxes that are labeled with months. In the Homeschool Planner, they are not. But if you wanted to use one per month, you could definitely do that. This is like the color blends, but I feel like it's more of a pastel colorway. It's not those bright colors that we saw when color blends launched last year at this time. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And then we have a notes page. And then you're going to go into your monthly pages in this book. So again, undated, but this is the first tab. If you're going to use the traditional Erin Condren colorway, this teal color is their January color. This would be February, March, April. But again, you can date this however you chose to do. Okay, so going back to the first monthly page. So this tabbed section is a lined page. And then on the left, we have a monthly focus, any enrichment classes, field trips or outings, supplies and resources that you need. And then you're going to turn to your month view. As a comparison, your first tab here, this is a July start planner. You have a little bit more on this page. It's not just a lined notes page. You do have the dates to remember in July. However, you don't have this monthly dashboard situation on the left. I'll go back to this page. So there's a look at the difference in their teacher planner and their homeschool planner for the month view. Now, again, month view is undated, so you would have to put some sort of date stickers in here or handwrite those in. There are tons of those on the market. And again, I will just reminisce a little bit about Erin Condren in the past. Their regular teacher planners used to be undated, and I believe, see, I'm thinking back several years here now. I think that they did have the labels of the month on the tabs, but all of these were left open like this, and it came with stickers that then you had to put in. So there's that. Maybe in future years, they will make a dated version of the homeschool planner as well. I'm not really sure on that, but just kind of seeing how things have progressed for their regular teacher planner over the years, I could see that happening. Okay, so this monthly design is obviously not Inspire or Canvas that we kind of seen with the Life Planner launch, but they did include these asterisks up here as their design element in the monthly colorway. I am a really big fan of the asterisks coming back. It's always been kind of part of their branding, and I think it's simple, but adds something to the pages, and I really like it. And then these pages are going to be set up exactly like the regular teacher planner. However, they are not dated. So let's look at the comparison here. This one has the month and the year. Since this is undated, they just left it blank. On the teacher planner, all the dates go down this column on the left. And then on the homeschool planner, they are all blank. But the line spacing and the shading and everything looks pretty much the same for your other columns. You even have, after your columns that are kind of broken down, you do still have this open section on the far right, just like the teacher planner. Now, one of the advantages I can see to this is that a lot of people want a vertical planning option as their teacher planner. So since this is undated, that's one less thing you're going to have to cover over here. And you could put your dates going across the top and then have your class periods move throughout the day vertically. So you're going to get enough of those in the tab for the entire month. And then you're going to close the month with 2 lined notes pages. And then you're going to start repeating that pattern for the next month. So you have your next month's dashboard lined notes page, monthly calendar, and then your lesson plan pages. So I'm going to skip. This is all 12 months. And again, going by the colorway, it would be January through December, ending here on their December green. But you could date this any way that you needed to. Okay, so we're going to end here with the last month. And then you're going to go into a new tabbed section, which they labeled trackers. This is unique to the homeschool planner. You have room for your curriculum resources, including a column for the site, the account, and your password. So you have this double page spread for that. You have a reading log, and you do have room. So if you have multiple students or multiple children in your homeschool, you can go ahead and write their name down, and you can keep track of their reading here. Looks like you have a couple of those pages. Oh, this is wonderful. I could see using this in a 7x9 planner, not for homeschooling. Why is my brain like this? I'm always thinking about those sorts of things. But this is an attendance tracker for the homeschool planner. So you have room again for different students, and you can write their name and the school year, and then you can mark off when they are present, when you take a sick day, when you're not having lessons, that sort of thing. This would be really good. I know some states require an attendance record, and so you would have that in here as well. You also have an expense tracker, which would be wonderful for tax season if you're getting reimbursed for any of those items. And then you do have a traditional grade book setup in the back of this homeschool version as well. The difference would be you're kind of doing this for one student on one page. So you have the tracker information at the top. You could list different names here just like you would in a traditional classroom, where I usually put my list of students over here and then the assignments at the top. But you could do that any way that you needed to. So you do have just a few pages for the grade book. I love that they include this Homeschool Pals. I have not homeschooled my child, but what I've heard from other local parents that do homeschool year round is that they really rely heavily on like their homeschool co-op and have other friends and members as part of that. So I like that you have a page dedicated to that in this homeschool version. You also have other homeschool contacts on the right, and then we are at the back of the book. Again, that ombre pattern that we've been seeing in this version, and then you do still get a couple of pages of the foiled stickers, which I'm glad that they included. I always really like using these on the monthly calendar. You do see the return of the mid-century circle pattern on their 2-pocket holder in the back. And then you do have a sheet protector. And then you are at the back of the book. So I hope I did a good job on showing you how this one is different, kind of geared towards specifically homeschoolers compared to their normal teacher planner. But if you have questions about something that I missed, I do have both of those books, obviously. So if you have a question, drop a comment and I will try to get you an answer. Okay, let's move on to some of the other accessories. Okay, they did send me a couple of writing tools, the dual tip list markers. This is a 6-pack for $16.50. My son actually swiped my last pack of this. A lot of people were using this in their grade book because they have kind of like a bullet stamp on the end, which includes a check mark, a square, plus sign, an X, a star, and a heart. And then on the other end, they do have ink that writes the same color as some of the barrels. The yellow has a black ink and the purple has a black ink, but the blue and the green and the pink write the color of the barrel. So you have a couple of options there on these dual tip list markers. We will go ahead and test these out here in a minute. And then I have the fine tip wet erase markers. This is a 3-pack. And I don't see a price listed on my info sheet for this one, but you can find this 3-pack if you want a wet erase option. And the colors of this one are watermelon, dandelion, and seafoam. So I'm going to set these to the side and we will take a look at these dual tip list markers. Okay, I'm going to get out my little A5 notebook. This is where I do all of my pen testings for Erin Condren because I like to have the Erin Condren paper to actually test things on and have it all in one book. So as I'm chatting away here, let's go ahead and get to a clean page. So this is the pink. And again, on this one, the ink is pink on the writing side. And then we have the stamp on this one, which is the heart. That worked really well. I was worried they wouldn't stamp smoothly. So the orange barrel has a black ink for the writing tip. And then this one is an X. I think they said the purple has a black tip. And then this one, I think it's the check mark. Perfect. We'll go on to the green. Love a Kelly green marker. That's beautiful. And we have an X for this one. Yellow has a black ink with a star. That's super fun. And then we'll wrap up with the blue. And this one should make a square. Perfect. All right, that's a look at the dual tip dot and chisel markers. Again, the 6-pack for $16.50. We also have a new acrylic option. This is their acrylic compartment storage box. And this retails for $24.50. It is in that pastel colorway that we kind of saw in the Homeschool Planner. Let me get this open. Okay, so this is again in that pastel colorway on the sides and the bottom and the divider. This does lift up, and then you have these compartments. Now you can move these. So if you needed a bigger compartment, you do have room to do that. You can obviously put your larger compartment in the middle or have 2 large compartments, whatever you needed for your personal needs on your desk to organize items. I really like that you're not stuck with the dividers in the same position. I appreciate that. So we do have some options there. And then I think, nope, those aren't gonna fit. You would probably have to take out do something like this if you wanted to put ink pens in here. But I think a Post-it note set would also fit in if you did kind of a square configuration. So you do have options on this acrylic compartment storage box. And again, retails for $24.50. Really pretty. I think this would be nice sitting out on a desk. I am a minimalist, so I don't like a lot of clutter on my desk when I'm working at school, but I would consider having maybe just 1 or 2 of these out. Moving on, I was very surprised when I opened this. This is so much fun. This is their 5-in-1 zipper pouch. It has 2 designs. Obviously, I only have one of them, but this pattern is what showed up in their academic planner, kind of this flower floral theme. It's really bright and fun, and I really enjoyed that specific colorway. So I'm glad that they're having some kind of accessories on the school end to match that academic planner. Okay, so this retails for $26.50. It does have a handle, and then when you open it, it opens all the way around except for this little section of the handle. And then when you open it, you have these individual pouches. Now, these pouches pull off. They are Velcroed in. So if you wanted to, you could just put a lot of ink pens in like this and zip it up. If you need a little bit more organization, I guess, you could put like pencils in one of these, ink pens in another, your grading tools in another, so forth and so forth, right? So you have room to attach 2 on each side, and then you can zip up that whole compartment. Now again, if you don't want to use all 4, just use 2 or 3 or whatever. But I thought that this was a good accessory option. And it's really not too large either. I could still fit this in my teacher bag easily. And thinking about my child, my son, if they have this in any other patterns, I think he would really enjoy just the layout of this and being able to organize some of his crayons and stuff at school, and this would fit in his desk just fine. Okay, we have new back to school designs on their lunch totes. So my son will definitely be using this one. It Velcros at the top and it opens even farther. So you get this sort of, I can't even fit it all on the screen situation, but it opens up, and then I like this because this is like a clean space for them to eat their lunch. And then all of this folds back up, and these do retail for $24.50. And again, there are some new designs. I think that this is what they are calling the sticky notebook for $16.50. So it is a good size, and you open it up and you have some different sticky note options. So on the right, you have a today sticky note, has room for the date, your priorities, a list, and a box. And then that's one whole sticky note. And then over here on the top, you kind of have half the size of that one that says important, today, tomorrow, later. And then on the bottom half, you have 4 sets of, like, I would use these as more like a page flag, but you definitely have room to write a note on that as well. We're going to wrap up with these reusable index cards. These, I think, are really, really smart. How many times do we use index cards? I have gone through so many, just picking them up at like the dollar store. But these are beautiful, and we all like pretty, right? For me, studying when I was a student was motivated by pretty things, note-taking, pens, all of that. And so studying off of these, I would have loved that. So these are literally laminated cards that are like index size. You have the ombre colorway on the front, and then you do have on the back just white with those asterisks making a reappearance. We have to write on these. Now, these retail for $12.50, and again, you get 24 of them, but they are obviously wet erase. So you could set them up, use them, and then wipe them off and use them over and over again. So I'm going to grab those wet erase markers in the 3-pack, and we're going to try these out. Okay, so I got this marker going. I'm going to write my son's name on the front of this one. Writes really well. These have a fine tip. They're a little bit different than like just a wet erase marker you would find out and about, which I like. And then we will do some little writing on the back here. And again, those would dry. You could use them to study, then erase them with some water, and you'd be good to go. Thought that was a genius product release on their end. I really like that one. Okay guys, that is a review of the Erin Condren back to school launch. There are more products. I did not receive all of them. So make sure you check out that website, erincondren.com, and look over all the new back to school stuff. It is truly one of my favorite times of year, and I love back to school shopping. And I definitely have some things on my list that I'm going to pick up for my son again for school when he'll be starting 4th grade this year. Again, thank you for joining me, and happy shopping.